Ireland has a dark and shameful past of abuse against children, against women, in institutions often run by religious orders. My bill aims to deliver justice for the survivors of abuse in these institutions and to ensure that religious orders can be pursued in order to provide redress for survivors. I want to pay tribute to the courage of the many survivors who've come forward over decades now, since the 1990s, to expose the shameful past of abuse in institutions. So many institutions, Magdalene institutions, mother and baby homes, industrial schools, other schools run by religious orders, all of these engaged for many years in cover-ups, in collusion. And what we've seen in the more recent past is the state attempting to ensure redress is provided to survivors. And yet, too much obfuscation, too many delays, too many legal tactics that are used by religious orders and their associated lay-run trusts in order to prevent the delivery of redress and justice for survivors. For far too long, religious orders have used financial manoeuvring and legal loopholes to avoid paying redress to survivors of abuse in religious-run institutions. And successive governments have failed to change this or to address this in any way. What we've seen is the practice of religious orders setting up lay-run associated trusts. These trusts get the ownership of the property, which is transferred to them by the religious orders, thereby leaving the religious orders free of any property and therefore unable to pay the redress they owe, while the lay-run trusts have no legal liability to pay redress. As a result, survivors are being denied redress, and orders have paid only a fraction of the redress that has already been paid to survivors. Indeed, religious orders still owe over €700 million in unpaid redress to survivors. We need to do something about this, and that is why I have called for legislative intervention to change the situation, make religious orders and associated trusts liable to pay up, and enable us to compel them to pay the redress owing. It's clear that we cannot rely on the morality of religious orders to do the right thing by survivors. So that's why I've introduced the Labour Party bill to provide for redress to survivors, to ensure a legal mechanism whereby civil actions can be taken against religious orders and against lay-run trusts that hold the assets that were formerly owned by religious orders. These civil actions would enable people to secure redress, and it would enable people indeed to secure accountability from religious orders that for far too long were colluding in cover-ups and were facilitating the commission of abuse against vulnerable children. It's not as if religious orders don't have the resources. We know that religious orders and their associated trusts still own billions of euros worth of property around the country. So my redress bill would enable the unlocking of the legal loopholes which are currently being used to obstruct justice, to obstruct access to redress. It's long past time that we did right by survivors of abuse. Let's pass our redress bill and provide a legal mechanism to secure justice and redress for survivors.